Welcome to today's podcast. My name is Pearlie Brewer, and I will be your host. Today's podcast guest is Karen LaPierre-Pitts, who is responsible for organizing the Threads of Life family forums. Welcome, Karen. Thank you for agreeing to be with us today.
Thanks, Pearlie. I'm happy to be here.
Karen, let's start with, for folks who haven't heard of the Threads of Life organization, who are they and what do they do?
Threads of Life is also known as the Association for Workplace Tragedy Family Support. We are a Canadian charity dedicated to supporting families who are living with the outcome of a workplace fatality, a life-altering injury, or an occupational disease. And our mission is to help families heal through a community of support and to promote the elimination of life-altering workplace tragedies.
So how did the Threads of Life family forums get started, and what is the purpose of that event?
So we have a bit of a history. Threads of Life was incorporated in 2003. Last year, we met our 20th anniversary. The organization was originally started by Shirley Hickman, who is our executive director, and a few other family members who connected with Shirley, and they created this organization out of Ontario. As time grew on, the need for families to have a place where they could share their experience, to lean on each other, that grew. And so out of some of the programs, the family forums were created.
So how many family forums? I know you have one here in Atlantic Canada. How many would you have across Canada?
So we have 3 annual family forums by region. So if you live in Western Canada, there is a family forum there. In Central Canada, there's also another family forum. And then in the East, for the Atlantic provinces, there's a 3rd family forum.
So how does one get invited to attend one of these family forums?
Well, we really rely on word of mouth. Anyone can reach out to us directly. And sometimes it's looking for information on support, like after a tragedy has happened. Friends and family share that information. We have lots of supporters, so folks that work in the health and safety field, or that work with families in different ways that have connections and communications with them, and they'll share our information, and those families can reach out to us.
So walk us through what a typical family forum would be like. For example, one that you had last year in Atlantic Canada in May and June. Walk us through what was on the agenda and what was your thought that went into developing that agenda?
So the family forum is held over 3 days. Families will arrive on a Friday afternoon, and then around dinner time we meet, and there's a reflection ceremony. So it's bringing everybody together on that first evening as a group to honor a loss, to talk about the reasons why they're there, and that's called our reflection ceremony. It can be quite emotional, but I think it sets the tone for the rest of the weekend. And then on Saturday and Sunday, there's options for those families to register and sign up for different types of workshops. And those workshops are around topics that would be helpful to that family. So whether they're living with an injury or an occupational disease or navigating grief and loss, there's different topics that they can go in and take with other families, and they learn about and reflect on what their journey is, and maybe find some coping tools, I would say, to move forward.
So tell us a little more about the reflection ceremony.
Mm-hmm. So the reflection ceremony, we do honor each and every family that registers and is going to attend for the weekend. We have a slideshow. A photo of that person will come up on a screen. We'll call their name, and the family will come up and light a candle. And we talk about, the experience of why we're there together, honoring, those pieces and what families can do for the weekend to help themselves and to also share with others their experience. Because we find bringing families together as peers is the really helpful piece. Making them feel like they're not alone, or helping them feel like they're not alone, I think is the key piece.
How many folks would have participated in the family forum in Halifax?
We typically have, with staff and the families that attend, around 100. So around 100 folks will be able to come to one of these events. We try to keep it relatively small, so there's some connections that are made, and it's not such a big feeling, of what to expect. But it's enough that I think they get to know each other better.
What do you hear from the participants as to what they take away from these forums?
Well, I think going into a forum or registering to attend a forum at the first time, there's a bit of anxiety, not certain of what to expect. And so we can always have conversations with families to know if it's the right type of event that they're wishing to attend. And with that, I find over the weekend, you gradually see families, turn a page. So because they've met some others, they don't feel so isolated. We hear them say they've come away from the family forum with new ways to cope, a new outlook, new friends. They feel a little bit more rejuvenated, and that the support is there for them in a non-judgmental way. Some of the comments that I've received this year, and I had a few that I wanted to share with you, that came from one family, is everyone's grief is personal, and it's just as important as others. Do not be afraid to share, because everyone in the room will understand and not judge.
Very nice.
Nice. And another family that attended a couple of years shared that it's our safe haven. It's a place to cry, to share, to heal, and to grow. The bonds we make are strong and unite us in our purpose.
Very, very nice. Now, how many people would come back year after year?
It depends. So our programs, I would describe them as fluid. So families can journey with us for many years. We have different programs as well. So depending on interest and what's helpful to a family, they can become involved in other programs. We have some webinars that are held monthly as well. So ways for families just to, look at some of those topics and be together. But there really is no timeline on how long a family stays with us. They can apply to come to a family forum year after year if that's necessary.
I noticed in your material that you sent me, age of 14 and up.
Yes.
Is what you are open to?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you get many in the sort of the 14 to 20 age group, or is it mostly adults as far as, sort of parents and so on?
So we get families that come to the family forums, and they may have younger children, and that can be a challenge for them to arrange childcare and things like that. But we find if somebody is emotionally ready to attend an event like this, and they're open to some of the topics, it's really up to that family whether or not they want to bring young adults. We do have quite a few young adults that attend with their family. They participate in different sessions that we have. We have, some sessions that are lighter in content, so art therapy or music therapy, something along those lines, that they may be more comfortable participating in. But it's really up to the family. And for each family that does register, we can have up to four family members attend within their registration. So it just really all depends on how
Yeah.
they feel.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been doing these yourself?
Uh, well, I have a longer history with Threads of Life as well. I have worked for the organization for about 5 years, 6 years now, and but I've been involved as a volunteer for many years, since I think probably 2005. So I've had a long history of being at these events, facilitating workshops for folks that are there, and volunteering in different ways.
So what led you to volunteer at the organization?
My journey started way back in the year 2000. My family was affected by workplace tragedy. My brother Jamie died at work in a confined space incident. And I connected with Shirley Hickman back in the days before Threads of Life was an organization, and we stayed connected. And over the years, my volunteering was heart work. I wanted to be able to help other families so that they don't go through what we went through, what my family went through, and that they had a support network around them. So what I learned, I could share with other people.
So has it been a good healing process for you as well?
Yeah, I consider this my heart work. I enjoy working with the families that I get to know over the years. They are able to give back so much to others in outside of their own tragedy, that it's really a special place to work. And I feel it's really important work that we do, and I wouldn't want to be in any other role.
So you've done these now for a few years.
Yeah.
What have been your big takeaways, and what do you think you maybe need to do in the future to sort of help grow your program?
Right. So I think some of the biggest takeaways um, for me is that people, because the journey with a workplace tragedy can mean many things to a family, really letting them know, and having a sense that we're not alone, that there are people that care about workplace health and safety, that they want to make a difference, and that they can lean on others for support, and knowing that other families can understand what they're going through is somewhat comforting. Um, and for our organization, it's a great way for us to grow our program. So a lot of our family members will become volunteers, as I did, and help support others. We have ways that they can do that. They can become volunteer family guides, so they can offer some one-on-one peer support to another family who might be just starting a journey or to have just been impacted by a workplace tragedy, and they can promote safer workplaces by doing that. But really, in essence, providing a space where folks can meet and share in a peer group is often the greatest value.
So for anyone listening today that would like to attend your forum, who has an interest in finding out more about it, how can they arrange this?
Well, they can go to our website. There's a programs tab on our website where they can look at everything that's offered. They can find the regional family forums page there. They can reach out to me directly or any of our staff, and to learn more. And we are offering information webinars about once a month. Those are introduction webinars that give families a navigation piece, so they learn a little bit about who we are, what we do, in case they're not really certain and they don't know what they're signing up for. They can register for one of those and just jump on the webinar and hear a little bit more about each program that we do offer. And then they can take some time to consider if that's right for them, or they can register for any of our programs. And I would like to add that all of our programs are free. So to anyone who's experiencing this type of tragedy related to work, There is no cost. There's no cost to attend a family forum, no cost to have a volunteer family guide for one-on-one support, and no cost for our webinars, which are called Families Connect, that run about once a month on different topics.
So just to finish off, I want to just have you repeat who these sessions are open to, as far as sort of who's eligible to attend, for example, your family forums.
Right. So anyone who is impacted by a workplace tragedy, which includes fatalities or deaths related to work, those families that are living with the outcome of a life-altering injury, and also occupational disease, and so this would be open to parents, to children over the age of 14. And siblings, any close relatives, and sometimes even friends or companions can come with a family member for emotional support. But I encourage anyone that has questions around that just to reach out. We really try to, have space and hold space for all those families that are dealing with difficult situations.
Well, look, we've had the opportunity over the last year to talk to Bill and Shirley about Threads of Life, and we've had the chance to interview a number of folks who have participated and are continuing to participate in your Speakers Bureau as well as your family forums. They all say tremendously good things about what you're doing and how your folks can relate to them personally, because they've in some way been affected by a workplace accident, and they think what you're doing is fantastic. So by all means, keep doing it. Keep sharing your resources. And for anyone out there listening, very easy to get a hold of Threads of Life. You can simply Google Threads of Life, and they have a great website. They have a lot of tremendous resources, and we certainly encourage anyone who would like some support to reach out. Thank you very much, Karen, for joining us on today's podcast. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us. Stay safe. See you next week.